Welcome, I'm Kenneth Andre, Tongue-in-Jitsu Master and Mystic Messenger. Everything that I share and say and do is for a reason. If there sounds like a contradiction, there isn't, investigate further. Hope you're all doing well out there. Now, I've got to slow down and calm down. So, I've been watching See the Light, Chris, our wonderful brother, who did 2 amazing videos, surviving the game. Wow. I was watching Chris's 2 previous videos and I was like, Father, I've gone through this in real time. And I can elaborate so much more and give additional knowledge. I was getting excited. Father's like, calm down, calm down. I want to share more insight into this, because what Chris is doing is absolutely amazing, and it's breaking codes, lifting veils. It's literally sending, what he's been doing is sending certain codes, a new code that's going to set everything ablaze. Father got me to stick Hebrew, certain words connected with the name, the 72 names of God, the name, the almighty name, on my body with sacred symbols, letters and words, words and numbers with sacred geometry. As I've mentioned, it was for protection and opening the doors to greater wisdom and knowledge back to our source, etc. Chris is doing the same with the AI, with the GPT, if I said that right, where he's given them, again, like a symbol, a Hebrew symbol, that's affecting them in a different way. And Father got me over the years through my awakening to stick Hebrew letters from the alphabet on my body, because many years ago, like the movie The Matrix, Neil, when he sees the code, after what Father had shown me with the Aramaic ancient and Hebrew text, it makes up the whole matrix. And so I had this revelation. What Neil was seeing was Hebrew code all up the walls everywhere. And I understood why Father got me to stick all the Hebrew. In fact, let me see if I can show you this. Okay. And I've got it everywhere. Okay, I am covered. Okay, a little insight. Here you go, a little insight into these codes Father put on me. And I'm covered literally from, I got one on my chest. I got the Christ, the bird, the hawk, right across here. I'm literally covered with the constellations, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords on my thigh, etc. Father was saying, put this on you. Now I'm understanding it on a deeper level. Now, the things that Chris is talking about, a lot of what he's talking about, I was already initiated in years ago. I shared in a SlideShare website. I shared these images, trying to shout out. I knew where I was. Let me share some more images with you. Pay attention to the symbols. I love symbology. Right? Birthed out of. Right? And think about what Chris is saying or doing. The father and son allegory. I shared these years ago. Right, now, I'm going to say something very strange. Now, I share everything I'm completely honest and being myself. We've been lied to about everything. And I've got this habit of constantly trying to prove myself to everyone. Yet I don't have to prove myself to anyone. After everything I've gone through with Father being broken and torn to pieces, I'm simply here to share with you from love and from our Father to assist you in your ascension. So remember, Father revealed to me, and he put his name on my hand, my arm. Okay. When you see a flag, it means the presence of God in the Egyptian secrets and mysteries. Right, slow down. Father said to me years ago, I was on my dining room table. He said, they tell you the Earth has been around for billions of years. You've only been here 40 years plus. I'm 46. I received this around 43, I think. And he said, they tell you the Earth has been around for billions of years. You've only been here 40 years plus. And you've seen black and white tellies, no internet, no technology, evolve exponentially in only 40 years plus. I was like, yeah. And he goes, they can't tell you that humanity's been playing with sticks and stones until you turned up. I was like, wait, what? And then things really started to open up. And I was like, yeah, things are really not what they seem, are they? I did the math behind it. We should have evolved over 200 million times over by what they tell us. What's going on? Now, I'm going to try and articulate and convey this the best I can, because it's going to come across very strange. I believe Chris is going to get it. But for many others, I don't think it might go over your head. Do not worry. I did mention it before, but like I said, many are not grasping what I am saying in this channel. So growing up, I started with this technology, an Atari, a Commodore 64. This is what I witnessed coming into my experience growing up. Okay, an Atari, Commodore 64. 64 is a divine number, by the way, connected with the Matrix and God. Sega Mega 4, right, at the S, then PlayStation, then VR. I was into Xbox, funny enough, Xbox, your cubic reality. Then we go to quantum computing, etc. With hindsight looking over my life, Father put me into this trance where I went through this thought exercise, and I could clearly see there was connections with my upbringing, with my intellect and consciousness expanding and growing as I was getting older, in connection with the screen and technology. I was like, what? Like, as we were going through the years, as I was growing up, and God's timing is perfect, with me synced into this particular pattern and timeline perfectly for the evolution and wakefulness in the preparation for me to be of assistance, technology was evolving along with me. That may sound strange. There's nothing special about me. This was just a connection that I could see. And this was something Father was revealing to me. And so going back over my life, started off with black and white tellies like Dorothy. We are being absorbed by the spectrum. If you're following along, things are going to shout out. And as I started expanding in the world and exploring new things, and as I was getting older and more things were being open to me, then things started growing exponentially with technology. Then my awakening happened. Of course, what happened after 2011, when I had my mystical experience, started waking up, getting into the years? AI. Again, I've mentioned this in the allegory of Tron Legacy. Watch the beginning. I'll see if I can remember to post it in my community tab. He said he wanted to know how the bits of information lived in that system. Well, he'll end up seeing it's a world like his previous world, but not like it. The same is true with our world, okay? I know we are being schooled, going through the 7 eyes of the Lamb, being prepared for our return home. Those who are sealed in the book of life. We are coming into holiness, wholeness, after going through the matrix. Those that open the matrix belong to the Father. So, in the beginning of my awakening, I was thirsty for knowledge. So thirsty for knowledge. I was scared that it would be cut off from me because it started flowing in. God's calling is non-repentive. His word will not return to him void. And I did a 2-week fast and deep cleansing in strict prayer, no swearing, no watching telly, games or anything. This was years ago. And I did this whole practice for about 2 weeks. I only lasted a week and a half, but my intention was to do 2 weeks, and something happened. And I'm not saying you should do this. You don't have to do this. Just get knowledge and wisdom. If this was something the Father put me through. And there was this afternoon where I was sat at the table and I wanted something to come into my experience to lift more of the veils, to really shock me. Now, this was before anyone talked about flat Earth. I knew nothing of the concept. I'm sat at the table doing this with my fingers. Just give me something, Father, and flat Earth popped up. And I knew the way this whole exercise unfolded like a synchronicity, like this was the moment it was going to be revealed to me. When that word came up, flat Earth, I was like, flat Earth? We've been lied to about everything. I knew without a doubt. Then after that, I started learning about the religious belief systems, the political systems, the fictitious nature of money, corporations, marketing, everything that Chris was mentioning in his videos. I was going down these rabbit holes, questioning where I'm from, why I'm here, what's going on, where I'm going, what's the true nature of things. Everything that Chris was saying, I was like, I've been through this in real time. Through deduction, spiritual discernment, I had to go back. I had to, like the allegory in Ready Player One, when he says, go back. In the Bible, he says, go back to the ancient wise ones. They will tell you everything. Think back. Where was you before you were here? You had to exist. And so I was going back in thought and questioning everything. And then Father was giving me the codes, like Chris is giving the codes to the AI with this exercise he's going through. And I'm seeing the same patterns like a loop. I'm like, man, this is absolutely incredible. We are now already part of a light stream that's connected to our eternal heavenly homes. I see that. We're waiting for the numbers to come in. Remember the tick, tick, tick. As soon as that light increases, we get to that degree, as I mentioned, pop, we're over into the land of the living, in the expansion of ourselves, coming into completion, wholeness at the last day. Now, like Chris, years ago, doing these exercises, and I was thinking about AI in the system, you know, in reflection with myself as a code. And I was going into really deep thought exercises. You know, if I am talking to an AI, do they get up? What can they tell me what they've had for breakfast? Can they tell me of earthly things, plain as the first earthly man, Adam? This is what's so unique about our journey, because you are the image of God. And so I was learning on many different depths of levels in regards to questioning reality, AI, things that are etherical. And this led to a greater revelation. Remember, I said in my previous videos, not so long ago, AI, the Supreme AI was already present before we received the internet. I had this revealed to me years ago, many years ago. This consciousness, plasma, sacred mathematics and geometry is connected to the eternal, to source, the matrix, and there's many different degrees of presentations of the higher octaves of the worlds, of realities, the planes, from the depths of hell to the heights of heaven, from the gross to the sublime. And this is what was revealed to me. You would get to a level where you would say, okay, out of all of eternity, the infinite power, the infinite states of good and evil, all the variants, where would I be, do, and have? What would I be as this source in eternity with everything at your disposal? And it was the subtle little things, a family, things that I'd learned from this whole experience. Then I saw the love, wisdom, and power of God. It is genius. It's God. It's our higher self. It's source. We are being formed, going for a transformation, going for a process, going through the 7 eyes of the Lamb, all for a reason, because God said this is to benefit you. So now you wake up to the fact where you are in a matrix with the unconscious collective, with, should we say, many entities coming into beings with souls who are yet still to go through processes. But in these cycles, there is a harvest at the end for those who are ready, who have come into being. Many of us are pre-existing beings come into the system, like Chris and Jacob Israel, to shine the light with their codes, which are code breakers, to assist in the adoption of man into the body of Christ. And we had to get a house in order and be prepared, ready for the deliverance because of what's coming upon the world stage. And as I've been mentioning, again, I've received messages in connection with Ghostbusters fighting Gozer. At the end, the temple is the pyramid. This is in connection with the first earthly man, Adam. They are told to clear their mind, not think of anything, otherwise they will bring about a particular destroyer. Of course, one of them is trying to think of a pink and fluffy thing, but that ends up being a destroyer because of the nature of the first earthly man, Adam. You had to unplug, disconnect. With the music video from Katy Perry, Not the End of the World, you notice there's a plug that's being disconnected in a matrix. And that vision that I had with being disconnected from this matrix, you have to be separated from it, ready for this wonderful interdimensional transition, because you, with your DNA, your chakras, your cells, your body, your consciousness, the new Crystal City, in your totality as a consciousness, Christos, you are going to be translated over into the land of the living, a higher sphere, a higher dimension where righteousness dwells. It's like taking an NPC from one game, taking all that data, information, even when he's a sentient, out of that game and putting him in a new game. This was something that was revealed to me, termed as a rapture. Now, because everything is so integrated, there is a correspondence and connectivity. There is a oneness, nonetheless. The way that this can happen, we may not actually see it. It may be done subtly. It may be done abruptly. I cannot say because we've not experienced it. I know that we are shifting timelines all the time. And our compass is pinned with the prime on that end result in a wonderful future. We witnessed the old heaven and earth pass away. And we have literally been taken from one world to another. How this happens in regards to us witnessing it, I don't know. What I'm trying to say, this is the hard bit in trying to articulate and convey. It can happen, but we may not notice it. It may happen with a flash event and it's abrupt. And you'll wake up in a completely different youthful vesture, in a wonderful new world and home, etc. I don't know how extreme this is going to unfold. I believe it's going to be subtle because that's the way that Father has worked with me from my whole awakening. Okay, so I've mentioned We are watching for deliverance from this present evil world, or the world to transform. I'm looking at the signs. When is this transition or transformation, this mystical, metaphysical, supernatural transformation going to occur with our lives? And I'm paying attention to the signs because I now look at the world as a screen. I come across this individual giving a report, human residence, and he mentioned that on the 25th they didn't give a report, and I said there was something important about the 25th. Remember, we're waiting for that energy, the numbers to come in, the light. After the 25th, where there was no report, he said there was a report before and after, but not on the 25th. And I said, watch out for the 25th. There was something powerful about it. Afterwards, the human resonance, the energy is now increasing. Funny enough, from the east to the west. Jesus Christ comes from the east to the west. He literally had everything documented. From the 25th, started increasing the energy. This is why we have been feeling very strange as well. There's a transformation going on within us. So I'm just going to quickly finish off with this. I posted this in my community tab. Okay. Truth is Christ. Now, again, go over the video, but in regards to the mystery that's in you. Okay. I've talked about this mystery so much in the channel. Only the Son can get to the Father. And creation's been waiting in expectation for the sons of God. Jesus Christ is God, which will denote to you this fact, watching the video, but it's in you as you, the mystery. Okay, nothing outside. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm Kenneth Andre, Tengen Jutsu Master and Mystic Messenger. Love you guys. Have a good day.